All right. Hello, hello. So today we're going to talk a little bit about cap rates. And it's not going to be a massive discussion. We're not going to make it real complicated. We're going to keep it simple. And I'm going to keep it simple for a reason. I want you to actually understand what it is. Okay, we're not going to get into an in-depth discussion on this thing. So let's kind of start out by defining what NOI is, or net operating income. When I'm talking about net operating income, let's say I go buy an apple orchard. And in that apple orchard, my selling of those apples is bringing me $200,000, right? Now, that's not my actual income. When I'm making that $200,000, I actually have to go out and I have to pay my workers. I have to pay for fertilizer. I may have to pay for insurance. I may have to pay for watering, all of those types of things. So let's say I pay $100,000 for that. So our income on the apples was $200,000. We're going to subtract those $100,000 of expenses. And with that, we now have a net operating income of $100,000. Now that is a very important number because we're going to be using net operating income in order to calculate a cap rate. Now, let's go back to the actual purchase price. Let's say we purchased this apple orchard for $1 million. Okay, we're starting to see things come to life here. Now, remember, we actually made $100,000 for our NOI. Now, cap rate is simply dividing the NOI. Now, stay with me here. Cap rate is equal to my NOI divided by my purchase price. So in this instance, what was our NOI? $100,000. What is our purchase price? $1 million, right? So we're getting somewhere here now. So 100,000 that is equal to a 0.10 or a 10 cap. All right. So we're starting to finally see how this comes to life. Remember, again, we started out with an NOI is your income minus your expenses. Okay. We decided that our purchase price was $1 million. We wanted to define cap rate as NOI divided by our purchase price. So we said 100,000 divided by 1 million is equal to a 0.10, which is equivalent to a 10 cap. All right. So now we're starting to get somewhere. We have an understanding of what cap rate actually means. So let's see how cap rate can be used inside of a world of apartment investing. So let's kind of stick with the same thing here. Now, what I want you to imagine is that we have purchased the property for $1 million. All right. So we have a $1 million purchase price. We already said that our net operating income is $100,000. We purchased it at a 10 cap. Okay. Now let's try to think a little bit outside the box here, and we're gonna switch this over to the 6 cap that we use sometimes in the bounce method. Okay. So if we would have actually had a 6 cap instead of a 10 cap on this, can anybody guess what it would have been? We would have actually had a $60,000 net operating income. Okay. So we're using a 6 cap in this instance. Now, keeping it in the world of a 6 cap. right? Keep it in the world of six cap. We said a $60,000 six cap is going to take us to a $1 million purchase price. All right, now let's go a little further with this. Let's take it a little further. Let's say that when we purchase this property, we're able to go in and we have 10 units. Okay, let's say we have 10 units. And each one of those units, we're going to increase the rent by $200. That is a $2,000 change per month, $2,000 increase per month in our income, net operating income. Now, over the course of the year, that is $24,000. Okay, $24,000. So, taking that $24,000 that we're now talking about, and let's say we want to make this, divide this out using the six cap. If I take that $24,000 and divide it by the six cap, that now changes the value of our property by $400,000 just by increasing the rent by $200 a piece, right? Now think about how powerful this can become. When we have taken this $1 million property, then we're assuming, again, that we've paid all cash. We have increased the rents by $200 a unit, and we have turned this into a $400,000 profit just by something this simple. Okay, just this simple. Now, why is this different than residential properties? Because in the world of residential properties, everything is based on comps. All right. So if we're talking about a single family home, its value is always going to be based on comps. The big difference inside of multifamily and inside of this cap rate evaluation is that we can push appreciation just by a few simple tweaks. We can increase the rents. We can decrease the expenses. Let's say we drop our water bill by $100 a unit or something like that. That would be a $300 change. All of those things change the value of this apartment complex. Now, this is a very, very simplistic view of how this works. Now imagine, let's get a little more technical here. Let's look at this a little different. Let's now talk if we had put down $250,000 on this thing. Okay, so let's go. We're going to keep the $1 million purchase price. We're going to keep it at a six cap, and we're going to assume that we raise our rents by $200 a piece, right? So we go to the bank and we say we want to put down. We want to purchase this $1 million property. All right. They're going to ask us to put 25% down. So let's say we put $250,000. A $250,000 down payment on this property. Now we're starting to see how this can come together, right? We've still got a $1 million piece of property. We have increased the rents by $200 a piece. So we've increased the rents by $24,000 a year. Change of value, $400,000. I invested $250,000. I have changed the value by $400,000. So my $250,000 has now become $650,000. Think about that. The next time you're trying to decide between single family, multifamily. Again, I appreciate y'all hopping on, and I hope you have a great day.